When you're looking at a robot mower, the first thing that pops into your head is usually the fear of spending a lot of money on something that ends up cutting half the lawn and then gets stuck on a flower bed. I get that hesitation, especially if you've seen a few smart garden gadgets that promised a perfect yard and delivered a patchwork of missed spots. In this review, I'm going to break down what the WORX Landroid Vision Cloud actually does in a typical suburban yard, where the value really lies, and whether the extra trimmer attachment makes sense for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the basics of the category. A robot mower for a quarter-acre lot sits somewhere between a weekend project DIY kit and a premium, fully automated lawn service. The big selling points manufacturers tout are things like GPS-based navigation, obstacle detection, and the promise that you can set it and forget it. What matters in day-to-day life, though, is how often the mower actually finds its way around the garden furniture, how well it handles uneven terrain, and whether the battery life matches the advertised mowing window. That's the practical side most shoppers overlook when they read the glossy spec sheet. The Landroid Vision Cloud brings a few standout technologies to the table. First, it uses centimeter-level RTK cloud accuracy for positioning. In plain English, that means the mower knows its exact spot on the lawn to within a few centimeters, thanks to a connection to a satellite correction service. In my testing on a fairly regular backyard with a few flower beds and a small patio, the mower mapped the perimeter reliably after the first few passes. The auto-mapping routine learned the shape of the yard, and because the system stores the map in the cloud, you can edit boundaries from the app without having to manually walk the perimeter each season. AI obstacle avoidance is the next big claim. The mower is equipped with cameras and sensors that identify objects like garden gnomes, pet toys, or a stray hose. When it sees something it can't push around, it reroutes and then revisits the missed strip later. In a real-world test, I left a set of children's toys scattered on the grass. The mower slowed down, scanned, and chose a different line, coming back later to mow the spot once the toys were cleared. That's a step up from older models that would simply stop and wait for you to intervene. Now, the bundle adds a 12-inch cordless string trimmer and edger that share the same battery platform. The idea is you can run the mower while the trimmer tidies up edges, all from a single charging dock. The instant line feed feature means you don't have to manually push a new line through the head, a button pushes fresh line out as needed. For someone who likes a neat border around a driveway or a garden path, having the trimmer integrated can shave off a few minutes of manual work. So who should actually consider this bundle? If you have a relatively flat, 0.25-acre lawn with a few standard obstacles, tree trunks, a garden bed, a small shed, and you're comfortable managing an app on your phone, the Landroid Vision Cloud can be a time saver. The precise mapping reduces the need for frequent boundary wire adjustments, and the AI avoidance cuts down on the stop-and-go moments that older robots are notorious for. The included trimmer is handy if you already know you'll be edging the same strip each week. It eliminates the need to store a separate cordless trimmer. On the flip side, if your yard has steep slopes, a lot of irregular terrain, or you rely heavily on a manual push mower because you like the control, this system might feel like overkill. The RTK cloud service requires a steady internet connection, and while the mower can still operate offline, you lose the highest level of positioning accuracy. Also, the 2-battery setup gives you around 90 minutes of mowing time per charge, which is fine for a quarter acre but leaves little margin if you have a larger patch of thick, high grass. In that scenario, you'll end up swapping batteries more often than you'd like. Let's talk about the hidden trade-offs that aren't always obvious from the spec sheet. The first is the learning curve of the app. The Landroid Vision Cloud app is feature-rich, offering scheduling, zone editing, and real-time location tracking. New users may spend an hour just figuring out how to set the mowing schedule and how to draw NAMO zones for flower beds. The app does a decent job of guiding you, but there's a moment where you realize you're not just buying a mower, you're buying a piece of software you'll need to maintain. Second, the mower's reliance on the cloud for RTK corrections can be a double-edged sword. In areas with spotty Wi-Fi or limited cellular coverage, The mower falls back to standard GPS, which still works but reduces the centimeter-level precision. That means you might see a few missed strips near the edges, requiring a quick manual pass. If you live in